They say the first victim wasn't even human. A stray dog had been wandering near the abandoned church of Manali, a structure no one dared to approach after dark. The wind was still, the night unnaturally quiet, until the dog began barking furiously at the rotten wooden doors. Its growls turned into frantic yelps. Then, suddenly, it fell silent. A faint, shadowy figure glided out from the darkness stall, draped in black, face hidden beneath a tattered veil. The dog froze, mid-bark, as if strangled by invisible hands. Without touch, without sound, the creature lifted it off the ground and dragged it inside. Moments later, the lifeless body was thrown back out. Its fur was ghostly white. Its eyes still open were red. A week later, a group of college students arrived in Manali on a winter excursion. The town welcomed them with warmth, but the locals' smiles faded the moment they mentioned the abandoned church. "Don't wander near the old hill road," the hotel manager warned, "especially after sunset. Some places are closed for a reason." But warnings only make curiosity stronger. That night, 3 boys run David and Michael slipped out of their hotel, laughing like rebels who believed the world had no real dangers. They wanted adventure. They wanted a story to tell. They had no idea they were about to become one. The road was silent as they walked toward the forgotten structure. The trees leaned over the pathway like spectators watching them pass. The moon hung low, pale and unblinking, and then they saw it. The church stood alone on a hill of dead grass, its stone walls cracked, its cross rusted to black. The air around it felt colder, as if the temperature dropped only within its boundaries. "Looks like something out of a horror movie," David whispered. "Perfect," Aaron grinned. "Let's go inside." Michael hesitated. Something in his chest tightened. He didn't want to enter. But pride is a dangerous thing. He followed. The wooden doors creaked open with resistance, as if warning them to leave. Dust swirled in the beam of their phone flashlights. Torn Bible pages littered the floor. Wooden benches were broken and scattered. Spiderwebs hung like curtains, and above the altar stood a crucifix, but Christ's figure was missing. Instead, only rusted nails remained in the wood, as if something had forcefully ripped the statue away. "Creepy," David muttered. "Maybe there's a basement," Aaron said eagerly, shining his light around. Michael didn't respond. His eyes were fixed on the altar. He swore he saw something move near it. Something. Breathing. They walked deeper inside, exploring different corners. That's when they heard it. A soft whisper, like the faint chanting of a nun praying. But it wasn't peaceful, it was mournful, angry, desperate. "Hear that?" Michael asked. "Probably wind," Aaron said. But Michael knew it wasn't wind. The whisper was coming from the confession box, the wooden booth in the corner. The curtain moved by itself. Slowly, he stepped back. "Guys, we should leave." But before they could turn, the old bulbs overhead flickered to life, though no electricity had been connected to this building for decades. The church was awake. Panic set in. Aaron bolted toward the entrance. He grabbed the doors and pulled with all his strength. They didn't move, as if sealed from the outside. "Stop messing around," David yelled. But Aaron wasn't joking. He slammed his fists against the door. "Help! Open up!" His voice echoed through the church, but was swallowed by silence. Then bang, something hit the door from the other side. Once, twice, as if someone or something was knocking back. They froze. Slowly, all 3 turned toward the altar. A figure now stood beside it. A woman, tall, motionless, wearing a stained black and white nun's habit. Her veil hung low over her face, but from beneath it, 2 burning red eyes shone like coals. No one spoke. No one moved, until she tilted her head sideways with a crack of bone, and began gliding toward them, without taking a single step. "Run," Aaron yelled. The 3 split in different directions. Aaron and David ducked behind rows of pews, but Michael tripped near the center aisle. His scream echoed as invisible hands lifted him into the air. His back arched unnaturally. His veins bulged beneath his skin. His nails blackened. Red bled into his eyes, and then his body dropped. He stood up slowly, but it wasn't Michael anymore. His jaw unhinged, wider than humanly possible. His tongue slithered out like a serpent. He smiled too wide, and whispered in a voice that wasn't his, "She is pleased." Aaron and David crawled backward. Michael's possessed body crawled toward them like a lizard, jerking and twisting. Sometimes his face changed. Sometimes it was him. Sometimes it was her. "Come kneel," the voice hissed. "Pray." David grabbed a broken wooden cross from the ground and hurled it at him. It hit Michael's face, but he didn't even flinch. Instead, he laughed. "Your prayers won't save you. Please," Aaron shouted into the darkness. "We didn't mean to disturb you. Just let us go." The lights flickered. The air tightened. And then, a voice echoed through the walls, not from Michael. It came from everywhere at once. "You entered my house. Now, it is your grave." The boys darted toward a side corridor, spotting a stained glass window, partially cracked. Aaron smashed it with his elbow, cutting his arm, but he didn't care. "Climb," he yelled. David started first, but before Aaron could follow, Michael lunged forward, grabbing his leg. "Stay," he hissed. Aaron kicked him in the face. Bone cracked, but Michael still didn't let go. His strength was monstrous. "David, help," Aaron screamed. David jumped down from the window, grabbed a large stone from outside, and smashed it onto Michael's arm. The grip loosened. Aaron pulled free. They ran, but escape was an illusion. As they sprinted into the graveyard outside, the fog thickened unnaturally. The gate that led to the path was gone, replaced by more tombstones. The entire landscape had changed. "We're trapped in her world," David gasped. "This isn't real." Aaron shook his head. "It doesn't matter. Keep moving." The church doors burst open behind them. Sister Abigail floated out, her body suspended inches above the ground. Her veil lifted slightly, revealing a face burned beyond recognition. Blisters, charred flesh, lips torn, teeth exposed. She extended her arms not in welcome, but in judgment. The fog around them turned red. The ground trembled like a heartbeat. "Run," Aaron screamed. David stumbled and fell. Sister Abigail descended upon him, her skeletal hand wrapped around his throat. His breaths became raspy. Aaron?" he choked. Aaron looked at his wrist. He wore a silver bracelet, gifted by his mother, engraved with the words, "God watches over you." Trembling, he ripped it off and charged toward her. "Let him go." With shaking hands, he pressed the bracelet against her arm. Sister Abigail shrieked. The sound was not human. Her arms sizzled like burning coal. Steam rose from her skin. She released David and stumbled back. The sky above cracked with thunder. Lightning flashed. For the first time since entering, there was light. Michael appeared again, no longer crawling, but standing. Half human, half demon. "Kill me," he whispered. "She's inside me. If you don't, she'll return." His head twitched violently. His body began to convulse. Aaron hesitated. "I can't. You must," Michael begged. Tears filled Aaron's eyes. He lifted a broken iron rod from the ground. Aaron closed his eyes and struck. Once, twice. Michael collapsed. His last breath came with a smile. "Thank you." And then he was still. The fog grew silent. The wind stopped. For a moment, Tib felt over. Sister Abigail's scream shattered the silence. She rose again, angrier than before. Her form expanded, turning into a cloud of black smoke. She wrapped around the boys like a storm, lifting them into the air. "You cannot kill what has already died," she roared. David clasped Aaron's hand. "Say it," he whispered. "What? Anything? Any prayer?" Aaron shut his eyes, tears streaming. He whispered, the only words he knew, "Lord, if you are listening, please, save us." The bracelet on the ground began to glow. A beam of pure white light shot upward, piercing the smoke. Abigail screamed. The light expanded, engulfing her, splitting her into ashes. The boys woke at dawn, lying outside the church. Michael's body was gone. The church doors were open, quiet, peaceful, too peaceful. They left without speaking. They never spoke of it again. But locals say that on cold Manali nights, if you stand near that abandoned church, you can still hear a soft prayer. Sometimes it's Michael's voice, sometimes it's hers.